Your friendly neighborhood YouTuber is rated PG-13. Parental advisory, explicit content, viewer discretion is advised. For all those who dislike this video, you can go ahead and lick my What's up? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, guys, and here we are, man, back with another vintage review. Today we have Hoof. We have this lovely rhinoceros right here from the Total Chaos series, from Todd McFarlane's Total Chaos, from McFarlane Toys. Alright guys, so if you're familiar with watching my channel, you guys know I've been doing a lot of, I do a lot of retro reviews. I've reviewed a lot of the figures from Total Chaos, also a lot of figures from the Spawn lineups. If you guys have never seen it, check out my McFarlane reviews in my playlist. And, also, towards the end, I'll break out some other break out some other figures, do some comparisons with Hoof right here from the Total Chaos series. Alright, so let's do a little read up on Hoof because I'm not really familiar with Hoof right here. He looks pretty awesome, man. He is a action-packed, rotating, launching, fire-bombing rhino. Okay, so here's a little read up on Hoof. Primarily chosen for his fighting experience in desert-like terrain, his relentless pursuit of the enemy adds another dimension to the team. With the Accord genetically altered his brain. Accord is, I believe, a team. He now has the same mental capacity of the other combatants. Along with his new wits, the armor plating covering his already thick skin makes him an almost unstoppable, impenetrable fighting machine. I love reading stories, man. The read-ups of these figures from the 90s, dude. And if you're wondering, he is from 1996, so essentially, we'll say 25 years old. 25 years this guy has been in package. Guess what? Not anymore. It's time to break him loose. Break him loose. Look at that. Just one twisty tie. That's all we needed back in the day because we weren't little punks like the kids nowadays. Back in the day, I used to eat dirt. Now kids eat dirt and they die. Guess what? I'm still alive. I still can't believe I'm still alive. All right, let's take out Hoof. I can't believe I made it this far, but I guess whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? All right, Hoof. Nothing much to this guy. He does come with a missile right here. Let me break down my camera just a little bit because he is a short, little stocky, little rhino. And be careful when operating these figures because they are older figures and they will break because they've been in the package for so long. You have to remember they were taken off the assembly line and packaged, and not much movement with these guys. So let's go ahead and try to loosen them up a little bit. Okay, so as I'm loosening them up, I'll show you the pretty much the 5 points of articulation in this guy. Legs up and down, and then arms pretty much up and down. Not really, well, especially this arm right here because it's kind of hindered by his design. See? Right there. And then the head does barely have any movement, but like I said, it's hindered by his design. He's a pretty heavy guy, man. I have to admit, he is pretty heavy. The detail is really nice for its time. This was before, I'm guessing this has to go back. Yep, that goes back because of that right there. So if you don't want that right there on his shoulders, you can move it back, then move it like that. We'll test out his firing action in a moment, but what I was going to say was, oh yeah, oh well, you can count 6 points of articulation if you count his tail. I feel like this tail is not going to stay on, too. It's not sturdy. But what, like I was going to say before I lost my train of thought, was this was right before McFarlane actually started getting good with his figures and getting more detail in his figures. You can see the transition because, you know, 94, 95, they were all kind of kids' toys. Then you saw 96, 97, he was kind of making that transition into more realistic figures, and then 98, 99 is when I think he had some of his best years because they were both designed very well. The figures were designed very well, and also the articulation was pretty good on them as well. And then you get into the 2000s, and that's when McFarlane just started making statues. He said, the hell with articulation, let's focus on the design overall, the design features, and that's when McFarlane started making statues, which kind of sucked. Beautiful statues they were, articulated statues, but nonetheless they were statues. And I lied, he doesn't have 5 points of articulation, he actually has 5, 6, 7 points of articulation because his wrists can move. I believe this one can move, it might have to be warmed up. Yep, that one moves. His fists move. Very nice overall design of this Hoof. I feel like he deserves a better name. Like Commando Rhino. Or armored. Or thick skin armored rhino. Armored rhinoceros. I don't know. Very, very dope looking figure, man. So let's check out his shooting action. Then we'll break out some figures and do some comparisons. I don't know. Am I missing something here? Was there another missile with this guy? I don't think there was. Maybe there was. Hold on, let me see. No, there wasn't. Okay, so he has this thing right here. I guess it's just this kind of a cannon. It's just kind of for looks. Or you could put it right there if you want to put that right there. I feel like he's missing two. Yeah, I feel like he's missing. He's supposed to have another cannon right here. Let's go to the box for answers. Alright, so here's Hoof. And see, this is kind of different because this looks kind of like an alternate version. Because you see right here, he kind of has a shoulder cannon. Well, it's painted differently. So I guess this part right here is just the open cannon. So you don't really put anything in there unless you want to put this right here in his middle. It can fit there if you want to. But this is where it's technically supposed to fire from. So how you fire it, you just grab this right here, and there you go. So it just depends on your preference, where you want to keep it. I mean, this will probably fall out. You put it in here, this will probably stay. So it's really up to you. The design of this guy is very, very nice. I mean, typical design of the, you know, of these figures in the mid-90s. The blue looks really nice. The red, I do wish there was a little bit more coloring on him. I think if you added a little bit more color, I think he would look really, really awesome, dude. Very nice figure, man. Let's see how well he stands. Hoof stands nicely, as he should. He's a very portly gentleman. Okay, guys, let's break out some other Total Chaos figures and maybe some other animal-related figures, and let's do some comparisons. Alright, so I brought out a couple more Total Chaos figures. I do believe Poacher was from Total Chaos. I can't remember. But let me push Poacher off to the side. So here is Quartz. This guy was actually one of my first reviews I think I ever did do it on my channel. I feel like I've come full circle. Because I bought this guy and I thought he looked amazing. He looked a lot like the Thing. And I might have to do a re-review of this guy because he's a really, really dope dude. The quartz on his back and his arms, his fists, his legs. Is very, very nice. But here's quartz with Hoof right here. And these figures are just so dope, man. They're unlike anything that was produced in the 90s. I mean, McFarlane was definitely ahead of his time as far as producing these figures, dude, because they didn't produce this kind of stuff in the 90s, man. It looks like his arm is popping off here. Oh no, that's just the way it is. I just now noticed the gap right there. You can see his ball joint, which is clear. This still is a very, very dope figure, man. Still a very dope figure. A little dusty, but nonetheless, that's how they measure up with quartz. If you guys didn't see a review of quartz, he's in my McFarlane reviews. So if you guys want to see a review of that, it's an older review, and it's probably pretty horrible. So here's quartz with the... Not quartz. Here is Hoof with Poacher. You got the rhino and the elephant. So this is where Hoof is going to go. He's going to be standing next to his fellow African buddy right here. Very awesome figure, man. This guy right here, this Poacher, is very, very awesome. He did crack on me. His belly did crack as I was trying to move his arms, and his back popped off right here. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. He is pretty pricey from all the Total Chaos figures. I mean, you can find him for like 40 bucks. If that is pricey. I mean, it is pricey compared to a lot of these figures from that era. You know, 40, 60 bucks I seen this guy go for. The lowest I've seen him go for was probably 20, but he was probably loose and missing a bunch of weapons. You know, but these figures right here, and I think I seen Rhino go for like 40 to 60 as well. But, you know, usually toys from this era usually go for like around 20 or lower. So these figures right here that you're looking at, especially Hoof and Poacher, they go for 40 to 60 bucks, man. So, because people still like these figures, they still go after them because the details, they still hold up. So that's why they're so pricey. 40 to $60 is pricey to me, especially an older figure, especially one from the 90s. You know, but then again, there's a lot of 90 figures that go for that price as well. So yeah, I'm not really too shocked. But like I said, their predecessors, they go for dirt cheap. Okay, guys, let me give you a measurement of, I want to say this guy's name is Rhino, but his name is Hoof. So Hoof, going all the way up to, I say his missile, he's at under 7 inches tall. So without the missile, just going all the way up to the top right there is 6 inches. And then width-wise, if you're wondering, he's about 6 inches. Okay, guys, let me give you my rating, man. A very, very dope figure. I mean, he still looks good 25 years later. Not much articulation, but this is what we had in the 90s. So I can't really base this guy on articulation. The design overall looks very good. I do wish there were more colors to this guy other than just the 2 blue pieces right here and a few red pieces right here. I do wish there was some more colors, you know what I mean? He just kind of looks bland in this red, burgundy, bland, brownish color that he has on him. I mean, he does look like he's realistic, you know. He does look like he's from the desert. He does look like he can be out of the movie. So I think they were going for a more realistic approach. I think the same thing can be said for all these figures. These 2 figures right here as well. You know, they're not really dazzled in color. They've kind of, you saw McFarlane kind of trying to go for more of a realistic approach, but yet still stuck in an animated, you know, theme. Same thing with Hoof right here. You see him, he's kind of like half animated, but also you saw McFarlane trying to go for a realistic approach, which he was able to accomplish in 97 and 98. So, like I said, these figures were kind of like on the borderline, the transitioning borderline of McFarlane going from the more animated toys to the more realistic approach, which he eventually took in 97 and 98. So, let me give you my rating, guys. I'm going to be very generous, and I just like the overall look of this guy, the vintageness. You guys heard my gripes. So I'm going to give this guy a solid 7. I think if you guys like, you know, the theme of like Cygor and like weird, creepy, cool cybernetic creatures, and keeping in that theme, I think you'll like this guy right here. I mean, if you like Ninja Turtles, you'll probably like this guy right here. I mean, these guys right here can probably fit into your 90s Ninja Turtles collection. Because they can be like Ninja Turtle bad guys, man. So that's one thing I love about these Total Chaos figures. They can fit into a lot of themes if you have like a 90s collection, especially like a vintage 90s collection, like as I do. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and leave it at that. Tell me what you guys think of this Hoof. Do you like him? Do you own him? Do you think he's a piece of crap? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. If there's one thing that can be said is McFarlane was definitely ahead of his time. So, and he also, one thing before we end this video is, you know, this figure can compete with some of the figures that are coming out today, man. Because a lot of the figures that are coming out today, some of them are crap. You know, compared to this guy, the detail is pretty damn good. You know, especially from the mid-90s. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and leave it at that. Tell me what you guys thought of this review. I just want to thank you guys for watching in. I'll catch you guys in the next review. Peace out!